Hi everybody, welcome to World of Warships with me, Matt Jeffrey. I've been playing World of Warships since it was in closed beta, and I really like it. It's one of my favorite games right now. I've been playing it a lot, and with this video I want to start what I hope to be a series of ship reviews of as many ships as possible in the game. I'm not anticipating doing any carrier reviews anytime soon because I'm not a fan of carrier gameplay, but yeah, I hope to eventually review almost every ship in the game, or at least the ones I play. Now to start off, I decided to do the New York, the review for the New York Battleship as the first video of this series. I didn't want to do the Cleveland. I didn't want to do something like the Minakazi because a lot of people think they're overpowered. So I'm probably gonna do these because I really like them, like an overpowered ship-loving noob like I am. But I did want to start with something a bit more neutral, like the New York. And one of the reasons I wanted to start off with the New York was because it's the first battleship in the game that I actually enjoy playing. So what we're gonna do right now is I'm gonna go really quickly over the stats of the New York as seen in the port, and then I'm gonna show you some gameplay footage that will hopefully show you what you kind of can expect in this tier 5 battleship. So as I mentioned, the New York is the tier 5 American battleship. It comes after the Wyoming at tier 4 and before the New Mexico at tier 6. And you might be asking yourself, why do I like this ship so much? And the answer is, I don't really know. Well, actually, I'm lying. I do know why I like it. The reason why I like it is because it comes after the South Carolina at tier 3 and the Wyoming at tier 4. And the problem with those ships was, well, I'm going to start off with the South Carolina. The problem with the South Carolina is that it only has 4 gun turrets with 2 guns each, and they're 305mm guns. The caliber is not that big of a deal, but the problem with the South Carolina is that it is slow. It is super slow. Upgraded, it does like 18.4 knots, and yeah, that is very slow. And another problem with it is it has a very short range with its guns. And another problem it has, it's not very maneuverable, and the guns really don't seem to be accurate at all in this ship. I would just miss ships that were like 5 kilometers away from me. And bear in mind though that I did play the South Carolina before Wargaming buffed the accuracy of the battleships at short ranges. The Wyoming after South Carolina, it does get more gun turrets than the New York. So the Wyoming here, you can see it has 6 gun turrets. And yeah, it doesn't actually lose any gun turrets with the hull upgrade. But the problem with the um, Wyoming is that the maximum firing range it gets is just a lot shorter than the New York because it gets 305 caliber millimeter caliber guns, while the New York gets 356. So yeah, one less gun turret than the Wyoming, but that never really seemed to bother me. It still has 5. It's still pretty decent. It's the first American battleship with 356 millimeter guns, and it's gonna do quite a lot of damage when it hits. The reload, it's a bit on the slow side. It's something like 34 or 35 seconds. I don't have any upgrades to improve the reload, so yeah. One upgrade that I did install was to improve the maximum firing range of this ship, which is now at 18.1 kilometers, which is actually not bad, especially if you're used to the South Carolina and the Wyoming, which have really short maximum firing ranges. what else needs to be said about this ship? Well, uh, I'm not gonna go through all the stats and details. In short, it has better air defenses than the Wyoming. This battleship can actually defend itself against tier 4 and 5 aircraft. It's probably gonna struggle a bit when it's attacked by tier 6 or 7 aircraft, but it, it's better than what you had before. But the really nice thing about it, it's its maneuverability. It's rated as 22. It has maximum speed of 21.4 knots, which is, I think, at least a knot faster than both the Wyoming and the South Carolina. And it has a pretty good rudder shift time of 12.5. And as you're going to see in some of the replays I'm going to show you, while it's not very fast, it will turn pretty quickly, which is helpful for avoiding torpedoes. So yeah, in short, that's why I like the New York more than I like the previous battleships so far, because it turns a lot faster, it has a decent range, it has a decent amount of guns, and it's not as horribly inaccurate as I remembered the South Carolina to be. With that being said, let's just take a quick look at some gameplay footage in some replays so that you guys can get an idea of how this thing is to be expected to perform in battle. So the first replay I'm going to show you is of the New York. I didn't really start at the beginning because I didn't want you to see me running into another New York like a noob. Now I'm firing the high explosive I had loaded in the guns at this Phoenix, and that was a pretty decent hit, 3,000 damage. I usually start off with high explosive just in case I run into some destroyers really early on, and then I switch to armor piercing. So I didn't start at the beginning because this battleship is pretty slow and I didn't want to make this video unnecessarily long. Another high explosive salvo at the Phoenix, which I think is gonna miss. And if you look, this is kind of the speed you can expect to be doing in the New York.
Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
It's not particularly fast, but it's not exactly slow.
All stations, concentrate fire on the
either
target.
for a battleship. It is maneuverable though, so this is, 20 knots is what you should be expecting to do in this battleship in general. Yeah, and that Phoenix just
Enemy
got
cruiser
nailed.
sunk.
I was talking in the dry dock about the accuracy of the ship. It just seems to be more accurate than the Wyoming and particularly the South Carolina before that. It will consistently hit its targets, it will consistently do some damage, which is why I really like it. I'm not a particularly good player, I can't say that I'm very good at World of Warships, but in the ship I managed to do all right.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
So that second salvo I shot at that Warspite was actually because of lag. It went nowhere because I had some lag and I fired at the wrong place. But the first salvo did hit and did some damage. So again, consistent accuracy.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
And here's where I'm going to show you a bit of the maneuverability of the ship. Now, I did react too late to these bombers, and as a result, I was unable to squeeze and avoid all torpedoes, but still, it was, considering the fact that it was a pretty late reaction, the ship did alright. It was my fault I got hit by that torpedo. But the ship, like I said, turns pretty quickly.
All stations, reporting the position of a strategic target. All stations, requesting fire support. Concentrate fire on the enemy warship.
Now, as you can see, the anti-aircraft artillery is doing its job. It's not particularly amazing, but you know, it got the job. And let's see some more shots on that Warspite. Let's see some long-range sniping shots on this New Mexico, and again, the accuracy is a lot more consistent. In total, I was able to do with salvo from all my guns, so I did like 6,700 now and about 2,000 before, so that was about 8,000 damage to that New Mexico, which is, you know, it's not a Citadel penetration, but it was pretty decent. And I'm not sure if I hit this Warspite right now, but again, and again, more consistent damage, and, you know, more consistent hitting. I'm actually going to speed up the replay a little bit because it's not very interesting right now. I think I'm going to miss all the salvos on this Warspite, and actually I hit him, but not a lot of damage. Now I'm going straight towards a Tenryu and a Cleveland. Now, I didn't notice that that was a Cleveland at the beginning, so I focused on this Tenryu. Let's see if I can hit it. So what you see me do a lot, particularly in this ship, is fire a salvo from my first gun. And that was a big hit on the Tenryu. Didn't manage to kill him, unfortunately, but I don't have time to waste on the Tenryu because he's getting almost outside of his gun range, so I need to focus on the Cleveland because the Cleveland can really bleed my health up. But yeah, what I was saying is that you see me doing that a lot. You see me firing one salvo off from one of the guns, from one of the turrets, just to see if the aim is correct, and then I will fire the rest of them as well. What you will also see me do is, for example, I could have taken a shot on this Cleveland, but I didn't, because it's a lot easier to hit when they're going like this, parallel to you, and thirdly, because it's a lot harder to penetrate armor-piercing shells if the ship is angled towards you. Like he was, like going straight in the opposite direction from me. So, let's have a second attempt on the Cleveland. The shot was actually hit. I don't think I'm going to be able to hit the Cleveland again. He's probably going to blow up. I know I do actually, but I don't penetrate him. See, this is exactly what I'm saying. If the ship is angled like this to you, you're gonna have a hard time penetrating armor-piercing shells. I'm not saying it's impossible, but you know, it's not going to happen as consistently. And I think that somebody else will finish off this Cleveland. Yep, he's done. So now I'm just gonna switch my attention to some other ships. Let's fast forward a little bit.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
I should be really shooting. We're almost gonna win, so I should really be shooting at that Arkansas Beta instead of the Tenryu. And I was really unlucky that that didn't finish him off. But
Victory is in sight.
somebody else will. I'm gonna actually start shooting at the Arkansas Beta now. But again, he was at 13 kilometers away, and the Tenryu is a pretty small target, so that was not bad from the ship. That was pretty good gun performance. Ooh, big hit to the Citadel. It's a real shame I don't get to finish this Arkansas beat off. That was a big hit I landed on him, and I actually got Confederate, even though I honestly didn't do that much damage in this game.
Fire on the designated target.
And from here on in, it's just a matter of farming some last damage points on that aircraft carrier. I don't even switch to high explosive to do it. I just fire armor piercing at him. But yeah, this game is pretty much over. Yeah, armor piercing is not going to do a lot of damage against an aircraft carrier. But yeah, this game is over. So yeah, let's just take a quick look at the post-battle results for that battle. As you can see, I did not do particularly great, but I didn't do bad either. I think the experience is with the daily double, or whatever it's called, and I did a 167 silver profit. I don't think the profit is that high, but still it's around 150,000 credits profit, which is not too bad, but it's not too great either. I came third on experience, and I did 62,000 damage. Now 62,000 damage is not that much, but the thing is, it's pretty good. It's basically, so I basically killed a fully upgraded New York and a destroyer. You know, a New York has like 49,000 hit points, and a destroyer has around 10,000. So basically, I killed a fully upgraded New York and a destroyer in this game, the equivalent in damage at least. Which is, it's not too bad. It's not great either. But the thing is, it's decent. And this is the kind of result I constantly get in this ship, even if I lose the game, even if I win the game. But the results always seem to revolve around, you know, a good performance from the ship. And this is something that you're going to see in the next replay, which I will try to keep a bit shorter. So here we go. Second game I had prepared for this video. In the New York. I am on the Solomon Islands map. I'm in a tier 5 game this time, no tier 6s. And we're just about to clear this headland, and there's a cruiser and a battleship, 2 cruisers and a battleship. That looks like the Furutaka, the tier 5 Japanese cruiser. The Furutaka has some pretty big guns. And wow, that was a high explosive shell. So I took a big chunk of his health out with that high explosive shells, and I'm reloading armor piercing right now because I'm contemplating shooting at the Miyogi right now. Because he was shooting at me, but oh, what's this? What's this popping in the screen right now? Oh, it's an Omaha. Oh, that's a pretty dangerous ship, so I'm gonna make it my priority. So let's see what we can do with the AB shells on the Omaha. And that was a good shot. Oh.
Enemy cruiser
Okay.
fired.
Right. So insta-kill on the Omaha, and I think I'm gonna dodge his torpedoes as well. Yeah. Yeah, that was that doesn't happen that often, but again, with a more reliable accuracy of the guns on this ship, you can
Problem solved,
actually
sir.
pull off shots like that. Now let's see if I can score some hits on the Miyogi, but I need to swing the turrets back around. And as you can see, the turrets don't turn particularly slow either. They're slow, it's a battleship, it's normal for them to turn slowly, but they're not very, very, very slow. Okay, so shots out.
The enemy team has taken the lead.
Looks pretty much okay, so I'm gonna fire the other ones as well. That was a pretty good shot. Not that huge, but that was pretty good. Minor damage, not really useful. Again, scored a hit but did no damage. So from that point, skipping on a bit forward because nothing really happened. Skipped a bit forward. I moved to the other side of the map because I saw that we had only two capture points. The enemy had two capture points, and I saw that Congo on low health, and I thought, everybody's running away from that guy. I could probably take him out. So that was a pretty long range shot that scored 2,000 something damage on him. So that was pretty good. Now I'm lining up a second salvo on that Congo. That was a good shot. It just left him on 381 hit points. But it does look like I'm gonna get two more salvos off really quickly now. That's one. Oh, I also take a hit. If that hits, it's gonna kill him. Yeah, it killed him.
Destroyed.
And the Congo also put a couple of really good shots into me. Shaved off quite a bit of my health, but I didn't use the repair kit this game, so I'm good. I'm gonna repair some of that damage. Anti-aircraft was shooting at some fighters, nothing to really worry about. So at this point I was a bit undecided. Should I go for B? Should I go for C? Now, looking at how many ships they have left, it's very unlikely that I'm probably going to get to damage any other ship. So, I'm not sure what to do here. They do still have a destroyer, and on this map, whenever there's still destroyers in play, I try to avoid going around the B area in the center of the map, because that is really the best place to be in a destroyer. You can wreck a lot of people if you know, a lot of ships if you catch them there in a destroyer. But oh wait, there's a Wyoming right in front of me, so I'm gonna try to get a firing solution on him. Shots out. Minor damage. Very minor damage. So, this is the thing I wanted to show you in the later parts of the game. Whenever the enemy ship is turned like it is right now towards you, and you're firing armor piercing, there is a very small chance that it's actually going to do any citadel penetrations, and there's a very small likelihood that you're going to do a lot of damage. It can happen. Like I've said before, don't get me wrong, you can still cripple battleships or cruisers from an angle like this with armor piercing, but the thing is, it's probably not going to penetrate. See, 2 hits, none of them did any damage, they both bounced. So what I should have done is switch over to the high explosive rounds and shoot high explosive at that guy while he was sailing away from me like this. I'm still gonna fire off another salvo of armor piercing. Let's see how this does. Now you could argue that I'm not aiming these shots really well. It is entirely possible. But they're square in the back of the ship and 0 damage. So I've started to load high explosive and I'm gonna try that. Looks like this guy's gonna be eating a couple of torpedoes from those torpedo bombers as well. Boom. That's a decent amount of damage. This cruiser I have with me is also peppering him with high explosive. So, first salvo of high explosive out, 3,300 damage. That was pretty good. I could have actually, at this angle, I could have probably shot armor piercing at him, which is why I'm loading armor piercing now. Because from this angle, see the damage he did to me? From this angle, I can do a lot of damage with armor piercing, because it's probably going to hit the side of the ship square and penetrate. From the angle I was shooting before, it's likely that the shots were bouncing. So, 2 salvos out, 2 shots out, rest of them as well, and this guy is dead. Once these hit, he's gonna die. Yep, that was a pretty good shot. So yeah, 3 kills. Again, I didn't do a lot of damage, but I just like how the ship consistently behaves in a manner that you would expect. Like, the shots are, you know, they're not incredibly accurate, they're not laser accurate, but they generally go where you aim them. The maneuverability of the ship, it can get you out of tighter spots. The turret speed is decent enough for you to be able to reacquire different targets once you turn the ship. All in all, I really like the ship. It's just consistent. The replays I've showed you, they're not great replays, but they're the kind of Joe average game you can expect to have in this thing when you're not doing well and when you're not doing bad either. So from here on in, I think the only thing I do is kill that aircraft carrier. Yeah, I'm probably gonna put a couple of shots into that aircraft carrier. But again, look at the speed. It's a pretty slow ship, but when you actually need to turn the ship around fast, it maneuvers. Good hit on that aircraft carrier.
Is in sight.
And the turrets, the turrets are slow, but you know, this is what you should expect from a battleship. You know, slow turret reverse. But they're not incredibly slow to the point that it really breaks the game you have in the battleship. I think I'm getting ready for a new shot on that aircraft carrier. And soon enough, I'm probably going to get all guns turned to it. That sneaky aircraft carrier actually managed to avoid all of the torpedoes. Good for him. But yeah, that's a lot of shots going in on that carrier. And he's dead.
Enemy aircraft carrier.
Yeah, and with that, this game is pretty much over. So let's just take a quick look at the result screen for that last replay. As we can see, in terms of credits and experience, it is very similar to what I did in the last game. This time I was top tier, so I was able to more easily come in top on experience. Well, that Langley took down 23 aircraft. Damn. Sorry, I got sidetracked. But yeah, in terms of damage as well, this is something like 60,500 damage points done, which is very similar to what I did last time. And this is bringing me to the whole point I wanted to make with these replays and the review of the New York. It's just a battleship that performs consistently, and you may not always have awesome games in it, but you will rarely have terrible games in this battleship, which is very different from what I was used to with the South Carolina and the Wyoming, and back when I played in the closed beta, the Kawachi, Miyogi, and the Kongo, I think, the Tier 5 Japanese battleship. It's just that in those ships, maybe it's because I got better over time with practice, but in those ships I felt like I couldn't consistently be a good contributor to the result of my team. In this ship, I feel that I am. So with that, I'm gonna wrap up this video, and I hope you guys enjoyed it and found it useful, and let me know what you think of the video, the idea of, doing reviews for the ships in World of Warships, and what do you think of the New York? All of that, leave it in the comment section below. Thanks everybody, see ya.